Oh man, you would think it would feel good to make this video after a win, but unfortunately, you can read the title. Not everything's peachy keen. What is up, Finn fans? We're going to look more into this victory over the New England Patriots. A sloppy victory, but hey, at this point, a victory is a victory is a victory is a victory. We're sitting at 2-3. There are a lot of teams in the AFC that are either 3-2 or 2-3, and this is still wide open. Now, am I saying we're going to make the playoffs? Am I saying anything of that nature? No. But getting that win yesterday and then being able to go into the bye with a win is huge. We get one more game, and then Tua will be back. Again, I would be shocked if he doesn't come back after the Colts game. And then we really can see, hey, can this team play better, especially offensively with Tua at the helm? So we will look a little bit more into the whole situation with the offense, kind of pass rush and some other things that kind of bothered me, but also the positives from yesterday's game. And we'll look at a bunch of other things as well. But first, I have to talk about the title and what's going on. So essentially right now, standout safety Jevon Holland suffered a broken bone in his hand during the win over the Patriots, source says. One of the top young defenders in the NFL, Holland is expected to miss time. Now, how much time is Holland supposed to miss? So Holland went out, and then Elijah Campbell came in. And Elijah Campbell made a few good tackles, which was really good to see, and was doing some really good things. But we're probably not going to have Jevon for, what is some time? Maybe 2 weeks. Now, they might put a cast on it and be like, okay, you're good to go. In 2 weeks, we'll put a cast on it. Deal with the bye. We'll see how he does with the bye. Then afterwards, going forward, see how that all plays out. But he's not one to be a pick artist, and I'm talking Madden terms, or really go up and get the ball much. He had the Fail Mary, which was fantastic. But you could throw a cast on his hand and kind of have him bat the ball down, have him do what he needs to, if he's able to do that. We'll get more details on that stuff. But for now, we're kind of sitting here wondering what's going to happen to his replacement. Is there a replacement? Now, there are possibilities. We can stay in-house like the Dolphins kind of already have. Jordan Poyer should be back for the Colts game because, again, we're getting this bye at a crucial part. So we should get Jordan Poyer back. I'm going to talk all about that on the bye week, kind of who we should hopefully be getting back, how this team could potentially get better, and moving forward if this team can make some upset wins and do what they need to. But, again, there's in-house stuff. We're getting Poyer back. We still have Marcus May, which, again, I wanted the Dolphins to go out and get 3 safeties. When they got Poyer and we have Jevon Holland, I wanted them to get Justin Simmons. You guys know for a fact, for people who've been following me since the offseason, I was like, Justin Simmons, Jim, pick up. And some people were like, why do you need 3 safeties? And I'm like, the Dolphins tend to run, this defense is probably going to run a 3 high safety look, also depth and this and that. And, I hate being right in these instances, but obviously Justin Simmons is now with the Atlanta Falcons. But we do have Marcus May, who didn't do bad. I'll say for the 1,000th time, Poyer will be coming back. Elijah Campbell, and then also Nick Needham. They might bring him up, from the practice squad, and essentially have him go in that safety spot. He's been working with Poyer to learn more about the safety position. That is something that might happen if Jevon Holland, they put him on IR, which means that he will be out until the the Raiders game. The Raiders game is when he'll be back if the Dolphins decide to put him on ice and put him on IR. Because, again, it is 4 games, not 4 weeks. That is why Tua can't come back into the Cardinals game, even though they put him on IR after the Bills game, because it is 4 games, not 4 weeks. I wish it was, because then he'd be back, against the Colts, which he probably is healthy enough and Will I talk about Josh Allen? Probably not. Maybe I'll make a short. I'll make a short about Josh Allen. But I don't know if I'm going to talk much about that Josh Allen situation and how he blatantly had a concussion, was knocked out, went right back in the game after hitting some smelling salts. Ridiculous. But there's that, right? In-house. Also, there's free agents out there. If they do put him on ice, put him on IR for 4 weeks, Adrian Amos is a pretty good safety. And if the Dolphins can bring him in, and, now's the time to do it because we have a bye week. If the Dolphins can bring him in and get him acclimated and kind of have him do things here and there, that would be a great signing with Adrian Amos. The fact that he's still out there, I saw something about the Jaguars, but I also saw that he's a free agent. So you can let me know in the comment section if I'm missing something. Adrian Amos, but then also they could trade for somebody. Now, will we give away future draft picks? Probably not, being the fact that we're hoping and praying we can get those 2/3 from Hunt and Wilkins, but there was the rumbles of Simmons. Now you might be saying, and I said this on Twitter and I should have clarified, because you might be asking yourself, Doug, get off the Justin Simmons, get off of it, man, he's with the Falcons, this and that. No, I'm talking Isaiah Simmons. There's a possibility, the Giants, will they give up on it? There was talk, speculation, also Budda Baker. But will the Dolphins, make a trade? Will they give up future comp, or will they stick in-house, which is a possibility, or they can go out and get Adrian Amos or someone like that there's still, a possible free agent safety out there. But right now, unfortunately, he has a broken bone in his hand. He's probably going to be out for a hot minute. They might put him on IR just to use his spot to bring up Needham or to add somebody. But unfortunately, we're going to be without Jevon Holland for a little bit. Hopefully it doesn't sting too much. Then I want to talk about the game. Actually, you know what? We'll talk about the game, but let's also look at this. Because I know there's people who are like, I want to tank, lose them all, we're not good enough to go anywhere. Well, as of right now, this is where the Dolphins sit when it comes to the tankathon, which is getting the draft picks. The New England Patriots are in line to get the number 1 pick. Cincinnati's behind them, and Jacksonville. I don't think these 3 teams are going to get a quarterback. Rams might get a quarterback. Cleveland's going to get a quarterback. Carolina, are they going to get a quarterback? Tennessee's definitely going to get a quarterback. And then Miami, what are we going to do there? So, again, it's way too early in the season to be talking draft stuff, but I know a lot of you guys are like, we should tank. We are in that sweet spot at number 8, that if we continue to do better, and again, look at all the 2 and 3s in the AFC. You got the Jets, you got Vegas, you got Indy, you got Chargers at 2 and 2, and then your 3 and 2s, you got Baltimore. You now have the Steelers at 3 and 2 because they lost. You have Buffalo at 3 and 2. It is a very, very close race still in the AFC. So the Dolphins are at a point in the season where it can go one of 2 ways. But as of right now, we're sitting at number 8. But in the playoff race, which, hey, if we're going to be talking about tanking, and if we're going to be talking about draft order, we might as well be talking about the playoffs. Yes, I am talking playoffs, and the Miami Dolphins are right here. They are 2 spots out of the playoff race. But again, as you could see, a lot is close here. The Dolphins are tied with the Raiders, play them, and the Jets play them. And then you got the Chargers here. Look at the Broncos sitting there in 3 and 2. Good for them. So there's a lot that could still happen, a lot of moving pieces that can still go on. So now that that's out of the way, let's kind of talk about yesterday's game a little bit and kind of talk about the good, the bad, and some things that need to be addressed. So for me, pass rush, right? I talked to you guys in the preview about how the Jets got 7 sacks on the Patriots and the 49ers got 6 sacks on the Patriots, and the Dolphins could only get 2. And Marcel Louis-Jacques came out with this stat, which I thought was very interesting. He said Dolphins defensive line Calais Campbell led all players with 6 pressures versus the Patriots. Next up was Chop and Emmanuel Ogbah with 5 pressures apiece. Ease off the rookie, it'll come together. Essentially, a lot of people are kind of jumping off the ship, calling Chop Robinson a bust already and all that stuff because, there is no patience in the NFL. But I see where Marcel's coming from because the pressure's getting there. It's just not finishing. We did get pressure on Brisket, I was going to call him, Brissett, When he played for us, he was brisket. And it did affect some of his passes, but he needs to do better, as in get more pressure, because we don't have Phillips now. We brought in Bowser. I didn't really see much of him yesterday, but again, it's his first week with the team. Bye week, hopefully we get him acclimated. I don't know what's going on with Bradley Chubb. Maybe we'll find out more about that this upcoming week and the following week. We get some more news on Bradley Chubb and where he is, but supposedly the injury is something substantial, and it might not be a thing until we get him, maybe until the Raiders game again when we're back home, because after the so we're on the road against the Colts, then we're home for the Cardinals, then 2 road games, and then we're home again. And I think we have a little bit of a homestead. Yeah, home for Raiders, home for Patriots. So we get a little homestead, and then we go on the road again. So it's going to be rough. And if you want to do something, if you want to be productive in this league, you got to win on the road. You got to win against good teams. So we need the pass rush to kind of step up there. Now, Sealer's doing his thing. I've noticed that, I don't want to poo-poo a player that's not on the team anymore, but Christian Wilkins kind of isn't doing his thing. So it seems like that salt and pepper thing, where I was right, and they were kind of feeding off each other. It wasn't more of a Sealer feeding off of Wilkins. They were both kind of feeding off each other, because I thought he would be doing fantastic when it came to sack numbers and stuff, having Max Crosby next to him, but I think he has like 2 sacks on the season, 3 sacks on the season. He isn't doing crazy. It is week 5, but I thought I'd see more. But I need to see more out of that pass rush, especially when you're going to go up against teams with good offensive lines, and you're going to go up teams where if you give the quarterback 2.5 seconds, 3 seconds, because we do get the pressure there, they will carve you up. So we need to see a little bit more from the pass rush. Will they get it together? Again, we have a bye now, so they have 2 weeks to kind of get it together, all this week and then all next week to get prepared for the Indianapolis Colts. Then I want to talk about running the flippin' ball. Yesterday, the Miami Dolphins had 2 rushers over 80 yards in Jalen Wright and Raheem Mostert. Now, Raheem Mostert is being back is fantastic. Stay healthy, my man, please, for the love of God, because he runs like a bull, and I love it. I'm going to give you a stat, because while I was doing my research and getting all my information for this video, I noticed something, so I wanted to do more research. In the first half, the Miami Dolphins passed the ball 24 times, and they ran the ball 15 times. In the second half, they passed the ball 11 times, and they ran the ball 23 times. A complete flip from the first half. And it was pivotal in completely taking over the game, because it made their defense tired. It made their defense essentially respect the run, play more upfield instead of playing so far back because we can't run the ball or we don't run the ball and we are pass team. They just play deep safeties. You're not going to beat us over the top with Tyreek. We're going to cover the middle of the field, and we'll have our front 4 and the guys that are in the vicinity make the tackle, because you're not going to run the ball. Now, and again, we'll talk about this tomorrow in the film breakdown, now, if we run the ball like we did yesterday, it now forces the team to decide, okay, are we going to play for Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle? Now Odell Beckham and Craycraft will be back again. This is the perfect time. Or are we going to, they have to decide where they want to play. And if you look at the touchdown drive, this is the touchdown drive. -8 yard run, penalty on Liam Eichenberg, offensive holding of 10 yards. 17 plays, started at our own 20, but we get 95 yards because of penalties pushing us back, right? So it's 1st and 18. I think it was a 7-yard run from Jalen Wright, but of course Liam Eichenberg doing his thing and bringing us back. 20-yard pass deep to Tyreek Hill, who got hurt. He kind of went up for it. I will talk a little bit more about Huntley's passes and where he targets them and how he needs to do better. After this pass, you had a 1-yard run, a 4-yard run. It's now 3rd and 5. Boom, 8-yard pass. And then Hill comes to the game. But fantastic, right? So now we're on our own 46. 3-yard run. -6 yard run, offensive holding, puts us back. Pass incomplete, then a 5-yard penalty on 3rd and 13, helps us out immensely. gives us the first down. After that first down, we are now sitting at our own 48 because, again, we lost 13 yards on stupid penalties. We are now sitting on our own 48. Look at this. 3-yard run, 16-yard run, 2-yard run, 18-yard run, 2-yard run, 8-yard run, touchdown. Like, literally, it got to the point where it's like, this isn't working. These passes aren't working. We're just going to run it. And for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 consecutive plays, the Miami Dolphins ran the ball. Bam, 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 bam for 7 plays. Ran the ball. And we got yardage, 3-yard run, 16-yard run to their 33, a 2-yard run to their 31, an 18-yard run to their 13, a 2-yard run to the 11, an 8-yard run to the 3, and then we gave it to Alec Ingold on 1st and 3 and 1st and goal to get the touchdown. Now, where we all get a little frustrated here is you should have ran for the 2-point conversion, but in the end, it doesn't matter. You go turnover downs, then we get the ball, and then end the game. But even here, 5-yard run, 1-yard run, 3-yard run, made it 4th and 1. We're so close to just ending the game and taking a knee. They got the ball back with 29 seconds. They did nothing. But we started to run the ball. Even here in the third, getting a field goal, 4-yard pass, run, 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 pass, run, pass, pass, field goal. That's where it kind of hurt us, especially here. It's 2nd and 8. We tried to run the ball. There was a sack, put us at 3rd and 13. If we would have probably stuck with the run, we probably would have done better, because look at these runs. 6-yard run, 17-yard run, 16-yard run, 16-yard pass, my apologies. But especially from Jalen Wright, he was going off. So that shows me that Mike McDaniel hopefully looks at this. He's got, again, 2 weeks to prepare for the Indianapolis Colts, but he looks at this and he's like, I got to go back to my roots, run game coordinator with the 49ers. I got to stick with the run. Devon Achane will be back for the Colts game. He got a concussion, but he's got 2 weeks to get ready, 2 weeks to heal up, 2 weeks to get out of concussion protocol. That's about the time it took for Teron Armstead and for Kendall Fuller. And all of these guys that we got that are banged up. Because, again, if you look at the injury report, a lot of the guys that we have that are banged up will now have that extra week to get right, to get their ailments right, because we had a bunch of guys who were kind of nicked up. So you had, Poyer, he didn't practice with the shin injury, but then you had Braxton Berrios, you had David Long Jr., Raheem Mostert, Emmanuel Ogbah, Duke Riley, Skylar Thompson, Malik Washington, Teron Armstead. These guys were all kind of banged up, dealing with injuries. They're going to get 100%. They're going to get healthy. So this is a big time. We got the win going into the bye 2-3. I wish we were going into the bye at least 3-2. Whatever loss you want to give to us, say the Seattle one, whatever. But it is what it is. Now you take what you have, you take what you learn, and you move forward with it. Go out, win the game against the Colts, go back to 300. This bye week, the Jets play the Bills, so it's like, who do we want to win? Who do we want to lose? I'll talk about that next week. But it's getting... This win is big. And I said this to my dad. I talked about this in the post game, but we were sitting here. The stream got messed up. So we were sitting here just watching football like I used to without streaming and calling the games and stuff. And I said to my dad, I really want to go into this bye with a win. Going into the bye with a loss it would suck. Going in with a win would really help motivate us and put us in a good spot. And they did it. Tyler Huntley is going to have 2 more weeks in this offense, which is going to put him at 4 weeks in this offense, give or take. Will he be more comfortable? Will he get his passes under control? I'll talk about that tomorrow in the film breakdown, but a big win for the Dolphins. Build on it, move forward, and let's go. But I'll see you guys tomorrow with the film breakdown. And then no preview this week, but I'm going to talk a lot about the bye, what we're going to get back, what we should do, a lot of stuff. But like usual, stay classy. I fin top.